So look. Everybody, we are back. It is Taped on Watch, Favorites Podcast, Favorites Channel, Favorite is Everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and of course, pandasubs.com. Discount code TDL for 25% off. All right. So, Matt, we are going to talk some training camp, maybe a little scrimmage game a little bit, but mostly talk about the Bennett trade, and then we got the depth chart that came out, and then we also have the preseason game coming in 2 days. Man.
I know. Finally some new football.
I know, right? Some new football, some film. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, we can get the film going, and then I think it's gonna be super interesting to see how they look, because the starters are gonna play, so that's exciting. Good to see the starters, come out there and play a little bit.
I guess it's funny they said the starters were going to play, like that was reported by Deshaun and stuff, and then Rappaport backtracked 30 minutes later because the full quote from Carroll was technically not that they're going to play. So I guess it's still up in the air. But knowing what we know about compete, I think they'll look at least one drive, because you know him and Gino want to stick it to the Seahawks, even if it is a game that doesn't matter. Yeah.
They want to go. They could at least get one good drive in there. Get a good drive. Maybe let's say that maybe Max Crosby maybe plays. I think the only guy that would actually not play is Max Crosby. I feel like that he might be the only guy that might not be out there, but we'll see. With that one. Yeah,
I feel like that'd be kind of smart too, because we've talked about it before. He's like the opposite of an NBA player. He needs to figure out a little bit what load management is and back off a little bit. So yeah, taking away a few meaningless reps in the beginning of August would probably be a smart idea.
Yeah. So as this broadcast come on podcast later, I mean, it really doesn't, but I can start doing that. I mean, I do that with Friday Night Live. I mean, it's just a little weird. It gets a little weird with the filmed ones, but one like this, I can do that for sure. You just hear us breaking down film, and it's just you can't see it.
That could be a great teaser to get people to YouTube. It's just I gotta know what they're talking about. You're sitting in the car. Get the listens up and the downloads up, get people to listen twice.
Yeah, right. That's a good idea.
With the pod, and then you got to come back and watch the film.
Exactly. I got to see this, the way they're breaking this down. I got to see it, so it could work out that way for sure, dude. All right. So Matt, the elephant in the room, the big trade of the week that kind of shocked a lot of Rays fans. Didn't shock me too much, just because, I thought they get cut or something like that.
Yeah.
But they got something out of him. It was Jakorian Bennett, who, a big Raiders fan. He had a fan base of Raiders fans. I did not know Raiders fans could be this upset about it. Some people were ready to cut Carroll's head off. They were ready to decapitate him. They were like, this is the end. Oh my God, same old regime after the trade. I was like, wow, man, good Lord. He had a fan base here. I did not expect that. But Jakorian Bennett, a direct player trade, like this is the NBA or something.
Yeah.
For Thomas Booker, DT, which the Raiders do need defensive tackle help. So I guess they figured they get rid of Jakorian Bennett and get a defensive tackle in here. What are your thoughts on the trade?
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of talked about it. I think last time I was on here, we talked about there might be a chance that Jakorian Bennett either doesn't make the team or get traded. I always thought he would have some sort of trade value, that some team would be interested in him, and lo and behold, the Eagles end up taking a chance on him. They probably liked him coming out of Maryland a few years ago. I just kind of thought they would get a draft pick instead of getting another defensive tackle who is going to be a fringe roster player. We'll get into Booker here in a second. Yeah. But yeah, that was my initial thought. I wasn't shocked. I wasn't shocked that he got traded. I was just a little bit surprised that they didn't just try and get a fifth, sixth round pick or something like that. But yeah, you're right. The player for player trades, usually, especially this time of year, you see that towards the end of training camp, you know what I mean? Or after a couple preseason games where it's oh, this guy's going to get cut for us. This guy's going to get cut for us. Let's just swap them real quick. So a little bit surprising that they didn't even make it through, or they made it just through 2 weeks of camp and did that. But yeah, it was probably a pretty good sign that Bennett's not going to make the team. And I think the good news on it, if you're being the optimism, I feel like it is a good sign that Cameron Richardson, who I've been hearing has been getting some good buzz throughout the first 2 weeks, is developing, and obviously the coaching staff felt confident enough to get rid of a guy that has been a week 1 starter the last 2 years for the Raiders and only started 11 games, but was with that first defense for the first 2 years there. So if you want to look at it positively, spin on it.
Yeah. It didn't catch me off guard, I would say, the trade itself, just because I figured that he just wasn't a fit for them. Right. And I made a joke about arm length, but I don't even think it's all about arm length. I think it was more about the tackling issue. Right. Because I think if he was a good tackler, I think they could have just moved him inside, and they probably would have if he was. Right. They just had nowhere where he didn't fit, and I don't think they trusted him to do the bend but don't break defense, where it's like, where it's like, you play in zone, you got to come up and make a tackle. Like Jakorian Bennett struggled with that last year. Like, you can keep it real. And I know some people say he had a hurt shoulder. You know what I'm saying? It's there's a little bit of aspect of that. I think that had more of a factor to do with it than the arm length, because I think he's still a good player. But go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, and he struggled with that as a rookie too before he had the shoulder injury. So.
Yeah, so it's a thing. He struggles to tackle, and when you're a bend but don't break, that is not going to work, right? It's not going to work for Pete Carroll. So I thought that was a little bit of the fit issue. So it was the measurables, right? And then you can't tackle, so I can't move you inside. So what do I do with you? Yeah, right. Like what do I do with you at that point? So that's kind of where it was with that. Like, so yeah, he might go to the Eagles, be a good player, because they might not ask him to do the same things that Pete Carroll and Patrick Graham want to do. Because I mean, even with Patrick Graham, that's what he wants to do too. He wants to keep everything in front of him, come up and make a tackle. Yeah, right. And that is something that Jakorian Bennett just wasn't really ever good at. So since he was never good at that type of look, I would say that's played a bigger factor for me than like the measurables. It was just the overall way, of him, the way he plays cornerback altogether.
Yeah. I definitely think it was a bit of a combo, like too. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people had asked me, and I think it asked on here about him moving to nickel, and I always thought, like, skill wise, like coverage wise, he could do it because he was pretty shifty, had some fluid hips, could change of direction, could get in and out of his breaks pretty well. It was like, can he be a good enough tackler to take care of screens and to get and be a factor in the running game, which you have to be able to do if you're going to play that nickel spot. And like you said, if they had concerns about it, which I think is completely valid, then I can see why they wanted to move on. Especially again, if guys like Darian Porter too, I'll throw him in the mix there too, are starting to show up. The young guys are starting to show up. So
yeah. Darian Porter's balling out there. I mean, he's having some great one-on-ones, right? He's out there balling, and he's really showing that he could be a like dynamic corner, especially in this system, right? He's a great fit for the system, and Jakorian Richardson taking a step is a good thing too. It's just like there's a lot more of the type of player that they want, and then with Greedy Vance starting to kind of make his name for himself inside, I think it's gonna kind of see all those guys work out, right? Of course, somebody asked, do we trust Stokes, and the answer is no. I asked that for you real quick.
Yeah. Honestly, ideally for me, like what I would like, my ideal situation is that Richardson and Porter end up being the starters. I don't think that happens week 1. I don't think they trust 2 young guys like that. Yeah. But at some point in the season, if those guys take over and like prove to be valuable starters, like that would be the best case scenario. And plus, because Stokes is only on a 1-year deal. But yeah, I still don't trust Stokes, but I think if you can get those 2 young guys to start playing well, and again, they fit the Pete Carroll mold, that would start exciting me, because there are 2 similar types of players or similar types of prospects, I should say, where tall guys, long, that can run, but they needed some technique refinement. And Richardson, we saw those growing pains like early on last year, whereas it looks like Porter might be a little bit more ahead of schedule. But yeah, ideally, if those 2 guys can take over that position, I think I'd be pretty happy and really happy with the cornerback room, even after losing a guy like Jakorian Bennett, who I thought had some potential to grow.
Yeah, me too. I thought, because Richardson too, he could tackle. I mean, that's one of the things that stood out to him when he watched him at college. That's what he could do really well, and that's what I'm talking about. Like that played such a big factor into that. So it's just something that watching him grow and take that next step is just huge for this team overall, I think. And I agree with you on that, dude. All right. So I guess we get into Thomas Booker. Which, the big question though is Thomas Booker good? Is Booker on a 1-year deal? I believe so because he got drafted by the Texans. I don't know what kind of deal that they put on him, but
he got waived and then I think he cleared waivers, so his contract voided.
Okay.
Yeah, let me see. He is, it looks like on a vet minimum 1-year deal, basically.
Yeah.
2025.
Didn't Jack Jones fit? No, Jack Jones was way too small. So Thomas Booker is coming over now. And I know a lot of people saw like a little bit of his highlight reel of him playing the run, but I mean, he had 3 total pressures last year. I know he played 179 snaps, but
3 total pressures the year before.
3 total pressures the year before on 206 snaps. He did get a sack though the year before, and that was not the year before. That was 2022, and he was drafted as a rookie out of Stanford.
Yeah.
So I mean, this guy basically, he is a fringe defensive tackle on this team, right? I mean, Leaky Fotu's hurt though, right? So that plays a little bit of factor. And like, what can they really get out of him? I mean, what's at this point, like, what's the difference between him and
Zach Carter?
Exactly, right?
I'd probably lean,
Go ahead.
Just potential wise, I'd probably lean towards Carter. I don't know a ton about Booker's game. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know a lot about a guy that's played 385 snaps, including the playoffs in his NFL career.
Yeah.
But I think Zach Carter, just looking at them as like prospects and stuff like that, Zach Carter was a little bit more heralded, and I think Zach Carter's probably a better run defender and a little bit more adds a little bit more better resume. But I feel like those two guys are definitely going to be competing for a spot at this stage. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if Booker doesn't make the team. This felt like we said at the beginning, like this was a swap between 2 guys who are on the fringe of making their respective teams roster. Like, I'm not going to expect much. I mean, you're talking about it this year. He played 180 snaps, including the playoffs, including like all 4 playoff games for the Eagles, and 40 of those came in week 18 against the Giants, when, if you remember, the Eagles had nothing to play for because they were already locked into that 2 seed. So he did get much time. He played 24, it looks like, against the Bucks. I don't know, maybe somebody got hurt that game. I think maybe Jalen Carter got hurt that game or something. But I'm not holding my breath expecting this dude to even really make the team at this point. He has a shot, but I'm not going to expect much from him at the end of the day.
Yeah, he played. Looks like he played 12 snaps in the playoffs.
12 snaps, on defense, yeah. Hey, in the championship beat the Chiefs.
The Chiefs. You see that Chiefs
beat the Chiefs.
He might have been winning. He didn't get the pressure, but he might have been winning.
Yeah,
he might have been winning. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just not exciting for like a replacement for Jakorian Bennett. Like, you're right. I'd rather just get a 6th-round pick because then they could have drafted a defensive tackle next year. It's better than these guys. And I saw somebody mention it in the chat here about how it screams Hemingway and
Pegues.
Pegues. I never get his name. I say Puigs, but it's Pegues.
Kenny, you did my boy Marcus. He already struggles with pronunciation. You got to spell his name right, at least, man.
Right, but yeah, I mean, what do you think? Just based on that comment, like, what do you think it does say about them, those 2 guys? I
think you touched on it on Twitter too. I think it to me, it does show a little bit of a lack of confidence in them to at least be contributing right away. Like, I don't think you add another defensive tackle if you've liked what you've seen from Pegues and Hemingway. And like, we haven't heard it. Like, I've been following up on the reports from training camp. I haven't heard a single person talking about either of those 2 dudes. And this is the time of year where you hype up those kind of guys. You know what I mean? Like, everyone that's playing well is going to get hype. That's what beat reporters want to talk about this time of year and get people excited for the season. And it's been crickets from those 2. So it's probably not a good sign that those 2 are really like getting ready to play. Like, they wanted to get somebody in there to throw another name in the hat and see if they can find someone else to contribute right away. So
because maybe they feel like Zach Carter's not playing well. You know what I mean? That could be a factor too. Fotu's hurt. Zach Carter might not be up to par. They lost Christian Wilkins, right? And so they're kind of at this position where they don't have a lot of depth at defense tackle. I we were talking about how like what's the worst position here? It's like, ugh.
Yeah. It's funny. We talked about this right before we started recording. I said this about linebacker ahead of training camp, where like you could convince me anybody could be a starter or anybody could get cut. Outside of like Adam Butler, I guess Jonah Lualu's gotten some love this training camp too. But like outside of like Adam Butler, you could probably say the same about defensive tackle now. So again, hey Booker, you could tell me he could start. I believe you. You tell me he gets cut, and I believe you.
Yeah. I mean, because I mean, if you want to look at it a positive way, I mean, he played against. He was a backup on a great defensive line, right? Probably one of the best defensive lines.
Yeah.
You've seen it a while. That's why they dominated in the Super Bowl, right? They're able to rush forward with that defensive line, and there's a lot of guys in front of them that are really great players, like Milton Williams, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. Somebody said the front office guys. Second string. Booker was backup DT to Davis per Eagles reporters.
That's interesting because they're not like that close to size wise, but you're talking about Fotu being injured and Fotu and I mean not nearly the same caliber player, but Fotu and Jordan Davis play like a similar position. So maybe he doesn't fit the size profile, but maybe he can contribute at that shade nose spot. So maybe he's worth taking a little dive into.
All the film I've seen from him was just him playing the run. So it's him playing the run. But yeah, it's that situation, that type of situation where they're like, we got to get some defense tackles in here because we don't have any depth.
Yeah,
but
you got to get bodies.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But like, I also feel like that if this was a chance he was getting fringe, you get cut, like you could have picked him up later on and then got some draft picks for Jakorian Bennett for you to do that. But the rumors were that they're trying to trade him for a while. You know what I mean? So it's maybe they couldn't get what they wanted to get out of it.
Yeah, maybe. I know that like the shoulder injury could have played a factor because if you remember, like even in OTAs and minicamp, I feel like they said he wasn't like 100%. And like I noticed one of the Athletics Eagles reporter, like after the trade was official, he kind of called that out. Like every deal is pending a physical, but it becomes a bigger issue when a guy has an injury or is coming off an injury, and he kind of mentioned that. So maybe that was part of the holdup in the negotiations. Is again, we talk about a guy who can't tackle and a guy that's coming off shoulder surgery that, if I remember correctly, Bennett, didn't he say Bennett was like a chronic issue for him, like and stuff like that? So that could have been part of the reason why teams were weary of trading him. And again, if you think the Raiders are going to cut him, kind of hurts your leverage on trying to get something back. So yeah, maybe they couldn't get a draft pick for him, even though he had showed some promise last year.
Yeah, maybe that was a part of it. And then he's trying to get, like, well, man, we ain't got no defense tackles at all. And these guys aren't playing well. I mean, because just even like watching the scrimmage, when I was watching the scrimmage, I was like, man, they ain't getting no pressure. The only guy who was getting pressure with on O'Connell was mostly Max. And I don't know, O'Connell fumbled another time, but I don't know who that guy was. But man, I feel like Geno Smith had all the time in the world. The offensive line looked incredible. And it's just funny. After that scrimmage game, Jakorian Bennett gets traded for a defense tackle. I think there's just a little bit of a connection there, man. I don't know, but I just was watching that scrimmage and it felt like Geno was just back there, just making sandwiches, and it's like, oh, that's the offense. All these touchdowns. It's like, yes, but I was saying, like, man, I really wish he had a little bit of pressure still.
And in that viral training camp clip where he hits the bomb to Thornton, I was like sitting there thinking, I'm like, are we not calling sack at some point? And I was kind of looking at the line, I'm like, well, nobody's really getting penetration, but he did have like 4 seconds to get it down there.
Yeah, I mean, Malcolm Kuntz might have got him in a real game because he kind of went around the edge on that one. But it was still like, man, he has a lot of time.
This film might be rough for me as a guy that like you all know who loves D-line play. This year's film outside of Max, and hopefully Kuntz can save me a little bit. Might be a little rough.
Yeah. Whew, man. Somebody's about to trade for Michael Parsons. I don't know, man. It's a possibility at this point after watching this team. After all that, like just time for Geno Smith, man. I don't know. They got to figure something out because they can't just depend on Max. And if they're not getting pressure from inside the interior, which I think Adam Butler probably played well. I mean, Geno Smith wasn't playing against the one, so it's easy for me to say that. But and the number one offensive line should be doing that, I guess. But
And the good thing about Butler too is he is like one of his strengths is creating pressure for other guys via like line games and twists and all that stuff. So he can kind of help boost, elevate some guys around him in that department specifically. So maybe there's a little more hope.
Yeah, and they have to and they got to stop the run. Somebody mentioned that in the chat too about the Chargers and stuff like that. So it is important for them to stop the run too. But yeah, man, they have to. They have to do something at the defensive line, in my opinion, because they have to make sure that they can get some kind of pressure. Man, it's just so key to just playing good defense in the NFL because it doesn't matter, especially the way they play defense. They play so much zone. If you give a guy time, I mean, somebody's going to come up in his zone. You know what I mean? Even more. I mean, man, that happens, of course, too, as well. But like in zone, it definitely happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
you don't want to give the quarterback more time to find the hole.
Exactly, 100%, dude, 100%. All right. Any other thoughts on the trade? Anything, Matt?
I think we touched on it for the most part. Any other questions?
No, I don't see not too many questions here. Just comment said, Matt, suck it up. Marcus had to watch the film of the Raiders QB last year as you could watch the defense.
I know. Trust me, I'm well aware. I might have made a few comments, and this is karma coming right back around right to get me. I buried my own hole. I'm not no one to blame but me.
Yeah, it's all right. We're okay, we're all right.
And forehead kisses.
Yeah, exactly. Forehead kisses, of course, and not rehabbing injuries. That's the problem here. All right, so let's get to this depth chart, which we have to talk about this, even though it's unofficial. It's just like a marketing thing, is what they say it is. Even though I don't know how much that is true. I think that's just try to calm fans down. But because you don't have to put the ors in here if it's a marketing.
I was about to, it's like you don't have to do it that way. Although I did love the defensive side, they just went with 12 starters. Is that how we're going to stop people? We're going to play Canadian football. We're going to have we're going to run nickel personnel with 3 linebackers and 4 down linemen.
Exactly. Hey, if they don't call it, Matt. It's all about if they call it, right? All right, so pull up the depth chart here. Okay, so who we got here? So of course, when it stands out, we got Colt Miller. Well, Dante Thornton is a number 1 wide receiver. Okay,
yeah.
Dante Thornton. All right, very interesting. I thought it was interesting that Justin Shorter went from back to wide receiver. That was interesting.
Oh crap! I didn't even recognize that. That makes a little more sense why they signed Albert O. I'm not saying his last name.
Yeah. All right, and then so you got Dante Thornton, Trey Tucker, right? It was expected. Jacoby Myers, he's the slot, I guess. He's the third inside guy, right? And you got Brock Bowers, right?
You went Brock Bowers.
I don't know.
Why you want to try to put L's and everything?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Brock Bowers.
There we go.
And then and of course DJ Glaze, Jackson Powers Johnson, or Alex Kappa, Jordan Meredith, who he has just his arms are too short, so they had to move him inside. And then Dylan Parham, who I'm interested to see how he moves. I'm super interested to see that with all that.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's like 330 now.
I'm super interested.
Am I making this up, or at one point was he listed at like 285?
Something like that. Yeah, 285. When he came out of college, he was 300.
Yeah, like that was like a surprise that he was that big, right? If I remember correctly, when he's coming out of Memphis.
Yeah.
Dude, put on like 50 to 30 pounds. I mean, let's see. That should help him against. That was one of his issues, if I remember correctly, against the bigger dudes. Struggling to set the anchor, but
I mean, it's gonna help him against Chris Jones, but I mean, it's gonna help him like move, because I mean, that, to be honest, that was the best thing about him, his athleticism, his movement skills, right?
Yeah, very true.
It fit for like outside zone and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know if that means you're gonna run more power. And they're like, bro, if you want to make this team, you are too damn small to run power.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that played a factor into it, but I'm super interested. I just want to see how he moves, because I think when you put on that's a lot of weight, bro. 30 pounds, 332.
In one off season too. Yeah.
Does he move the same? Like, I mean, I don't know that. Like, what was he eating a day? You know what I mean?
Yeah, one of those like bodybuilder diets. Just wake up in the middle of the night to eat. Yeah, I will say too. This has been. I swear Pete Carroll watches the channel and just wants to make us look stupid, because as soon as I said Alex Kappa seems like he's the one unquestioned starter, they started rotating JPJ in at right guard.
Yeah.
which has been the trend for the last week. And now even on the depth chart, like we just said, they put the or on those two and not on at center, which is interesting. I guess that speaks well to what Meredith has been doing at center, what they've seen from him at that spot.
Yeah, they probably like just how he probably just runs everything, right? Has everything going the right way. I mean, I think Jack Paris Johnson was his job, right? I really think it was his job. I'm pretty positive he will, right? Which makes me feel good because Alex Kappa is not going to start, and I feel good. I'm still getting the same 5 that I wanted. I'm like, okay, we got the same 5,
yeah,
right? That we always wanted, but it's just different. Right, they just move the guys around.
The interior 3 is the 3 best interior 3 that we've been saying, just in the exact like different order that we were talking about. Because before we were talking about Meredith at left guard, JPJ at center, and Parham at right. But now they just want to throw us, I guess, for a complete loop. But yeah, that's at the end of the day, like this would be if this was the starting line. I feel like this is their best 5 starting offensive linemen, or their best 5 offensive linemen on the roster. So I would be happy with it. Yeah. It's just. It seems like they're trying to fit JPJ in somewhere. I don't know. I mean, I still think JPJ is a little bit better at center, but I mean, for his sake, guards make more money than center. So if he can prove himself at guard, then so be it. Be in his best interest.
Yeah. Fusion says we're making. We haven't made fun of the team today, have we? I don't think so.
What do we say?
I don't know. He said, "Let's sit back and watch these 2 clowns make fun of your beloved team." Did we do that?
Hey, thanks for supporting the channel, buddy.
Appreciate you, Fusion. Hit that like button, bro. Hit the subscribe button if you like to.
Make sure you share it on your socials too.
Yeah.
Tell them how dumb we are.
Tell them how much we make fun of the Raiders. I don't know. I make jokes all the time. I don't care. I'd make fun of if I was a Chiefs guy. I'd be making fun of some of the Chiefs stuff they did because that's how I do it. All right. So here we go. Who else do we got here? I mean, really nothing on offense is really shocking.
I think Zamir White RB2.
Oh, yes, that's the shocking one. That's the shocking one.
Over, I mean, I think it's not like Raheem Mostert didn't have the RB2 role split locked down, but I think the fact that it's between Zamir and Sincere, or it's Zamir instead of Sincere, is interesting. That's one. And you guys know my feelings on Zamir White and how I feel about him after last season's, and I'm a little shocked by that one because I would have thought Sincere would have been closer to the top of the depth chart.
Yeah. I mean,
second spot.
I mean, I don't want to say this. It's interesting to me because Zamir White should be there, right? He should. Like when you drafted him, right, where he played at the end of the year, he should be there where he's at. So, but it's more like you just weren't expecting it because how bad of a season he had last year. Last year he was terrible, right? I mean, the year before that he was a solid running back, right? And so it's not that crazy. It's just shocking to see just because how terrible he was last year. He was just so bad, and it just didn't work out for him, right? And so it's a little shocking to see that. I don't know how much that is really playing into it, but it's just like. It's not shocking for real, but it kind of is just because you weren't expecting him to be there because he didn't play well last year, right? And it was kind of like he's a guy that is going to get cut. But he's out of this group, out of the guys behind him, though. If we keep it real, he's the most talented player, right? He's the most talented. I'm not going to say from. I think Sincere McCormick's a better natural running back from a vision perspective, but from a draft perspective, a prospect. Yeah. Size, speed, right? The play at Georgia, you know what I'm saying? He catches the ball pretty well. He's not a bad blocker. There's a lot of things to like about Zamir White. It's just the vision and those things. But if you could just run power and just do some and get those guys pulled around, it might not look that bad. So it makes sense, but it's just he is just kind of he should be there, so it's not that shocking, but it's shocking because of last year, and he doesn't play well.
Yeah, And I think, like you kind of touched on it too. I feel like what this tells me is they are going to lean on a lot more gap schemes because that's what Zamir White does do well. They just didn't do it I can't remember the offensive coordinator's name, Luke Getsy, just refused to do it at the beginning of the season with them, and we saw that end up the results. So yeah, maybe he could be good in that role as like the RB2, the backup guy who just comes in for the tough yards and the gap runs and that kind of stuff. The fact that again it's and if you look at Raheem Moser, what he does well is the outside zone concept. So I guess those guys, you want to look at it that way. Those guys can complement each other pretty well in that regard.
Yeah, for sure. It's Cecile McCormick being all the way back. It's super interesting. Not expecting that. But we'll see how that goes with that there. Really nothing else shocking to me. Like Charles Grant is the left tackle, backup right tackle. There, Mumford's not playing guard though. That was a pump fake for us on there. But yeah, offense just seems pretty simple. I mean, Dante Thornton starting is a big deal. I think a 4th round wide receiver getting a start. I mean, I don't know who would start over him. I guess Jack Bech would, right? I think.
Yeah. The fact that he's because Betch isn't even listed at the slot behind Myers. He's listed behind Tucker on the outside, and I think if I remember correctly, I've seen he's been like working more on the outside too. So the fact that Dante Thornton's listed as a starter, which is kind of held true since OTAs, is a good sign for him.
Yeah,
and his development.
Yeah, and then Alex Bachman's going to steal a spot on the team. So
there you go.
Yeah. He's about to steal a spot. All right, before we get defense, answer some of these questions. Trey Tucker equals Santana Moss.
I mean, I was saying Tyler Lockett. I feel like that's fairly similar. Is Santana Moss, was he that small? I thought he was a little. I know he wasn't the big dude. Was he like Tucker's like 5'10", right? Was Santana Moss that small?
Santana Moss? Yeah, Santana Moss is basically the same size. And then I saw a clip of it, and I saw a clip of him on TikTok like right after that. And I was like, you know what? That's not a bad comp. They moved kind of the same. I think Santana Moss is more flexible, right? And more like in the hips and stuff like that. I think he's I think it's a good comp. With that one. I like that one though for sure. It's a good comp for me. How much does Graham like to run stunts with the D line? Will help with pressure. Isn't this almost the same D line that put pressure on Mahomes on Christmas Day?
No, there's no Chase on. He had a really good game that game. He Chase on was the guy. Like we talk about the Chiefs left tackle situation getting exposed in the Super Bowl. You really go back to it as Clevon Chase on because that's when they started putting Joe Tooney out there.
I think he's talking about the Christmas Day game, 2023.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay, 2 years ago.
Yeah, it kind of is because it's Max, Adam Butler, Malcolm Coons, Terry Wilson.
I mean, those are the only, and I guess you said Butler. Those are the only 3. Same. I don't even remember that team. That was too long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it is kind of the same defensive line. It kind of is.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, with Patrick Graham, he's a great D line coach though, so he's gonna have those stunts ready for sure. Especially Adam Butler runs it. Yeah, it's gonna be legit. But we'll get into the defensive side of the ball a little bit in depth in there in a second. Do you want a guy coming off an AC injury though? Who's talking about?
Is he talking about Coons?
Yes. It's about the trade. I was talking about trade. I think it's about Parsons. Maybe he's asking somebody else that question. I don't know. Can we just send Ty Wilson to Vegas buffet and make him a DT? I mean, you could. I mean, I don't know what they did with Parham. I mean, maybe they could have. Whatever that Parham diet was.
Same diet. They need to go hit up the Bellagio. It's like the best buffet in the world.
Yeah, get tired of the 310. You know what I mean? Whatever that diet was, we can get Tyree Wilson on that. You know, we could make that happen. More DT trades coming or any camp cuts to get more talent at DT. I mean, that is a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is anyone that's available via trade right now is probably getting cut by someone else. And you can hope to find, treasure in another man's trash, but I'm not like, again, anyone that's available at this stage, you can't hold out much hope for.
Yeah. Chip Kelly effect is about Zamir White. I mean, it could possibility. I mean, Albert Breer was raving about Chip Kelly today on his podcast about what Chip's doing, and how they're playing. They're not doing like the fast stuff. They're not doing like no huddle. They're playing like a real slow West Coast, innovative West Coast offense, right? And he's saying how Geno Smith's getting rid of the ball really quickly. Like guys are getting open really quickly. Everything's just running super smooth. And he's talking about what I've been saying for like a while is that they're going to start off really fast on offense. It's going to be hard. And the Patriots probably won't have any idea what the hell they're going to do. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's I'm excited about Chip Kelly. I mean, out of anything else, like everybody talks about this offense, I'm excited to see what the hell Chip's going to do. I'm excited. I get some innovative offense to break down. My breakdowns might be like 9 minutes this year, guys. They might be like 9 minutes long, which not even 9 minutes. But the tape might be 9 minutes, which means it might be 30. So just be prepared for that. I'm going to get in depth. I'm going to get in depth. I'm showing all the motions and stuff. I'm excited as hell after watching like this non-motionless offenses the last 2 weeks. I mean, I'll give Scott Turner some praise though. Scott Turner wasn't that bad. I like Scott. Scott wasn't bad. He was bad. He's all right. He got the it just didn't go well from him because of the situation. But I didn't think he was that bad as a play caller. For real.
Yeah.
All right, a couple more questions here. I think Zamir White had like 80 yards last year. He did. Has Tyree get off the line of scrimmage yet? I mean, he's a lot better than that. And then you got one of your Mrs. Holder's favorite 8th grader.
Oh, Adam, what's up, man? How's it going?
Oh, man. Got the getting all age groups in here, man. We gotta stop cussing.
I
guess.
We gotta watch our language.
You gotta watch our language, bro. Here. All right. Defense. Anything glaring out to you on defense here? I mean, I know Darnay Holmes is there. I think somebody asked why Darnay Holmes is starting. But
that's a veteran talk. That's veteran talk. Ideally, Greedy Vance is there. Greedy Vance being ahead of Caillou Blue Kelly might be something to look into, because I mean, just looking at it, I'm trying to see. Yeah, there's no other undrafted free agent that's listed as a second. There's from some other rookies, but no UDFAs.
Yeah,
and Caillou's got some experience.
Yeah, that is super interesting, right? So, I mean, that kind of shows he's moving up already, right? To me, that means he's going to start. He'll be maybe Darnay Holmes might be out there week 1, but like by like week 3, week 4, we're gonna see like Greedy Vance playing full time. I think, because I don't trust Darnay Holmes at all.
Yeah,
really, right? Defensive line, nothing crazy there, right? I mean, I guess, what Booker would fit in somewhere around here, probably like around Fotu, right in front of JJ, just what I call him, and then I think go ahead.
Hemingway at DN's a little interesting. Like, we kind of expected that, but he's kind of like one of those guys that like can is that hybrid, that tweener type. I think he's like 280, which is typically your like a little bit of your tweener size.
Yeah, that's a Pete Carroll defensive tackle, 280 defensive end, 280. Which kind of makes sense, like because if they go 5 across, right? Which I think this is how Tyree's going to get in the field. If they go the oversets, whatever, right? Or the bear, whatever you call it. Overfront. There you go. Overfront. Tyree's probably going to be at the 5, right? And they might have somebody outside of him, like maybe like something like that. And then that's where Hemingway could find his way in, and he could be at the 5, right? So yeah, it's Future Power is talking about we don't trust anybody on your defense. Like this, what are you guys talking about? Like, who is this guy? He's funny. Anyways, but like but yeah, if you put like Hemingway out there, that kind of sets it up for where Tyree's playing outside of it, right? Like where he's playing at the 5 technique, and then Hemingway could find his way playing the 5 technique too, and then kind of play that. Somebody mentioned it, kind of like what Michael Bennett role, right? Which is having a smaller guy. I mean, that's mostly what happens with Pete Carroll is smaller guys across the board.
Yeah,
right.
Very true.
So it's you're not going to see those huge defensive tackles, right? Those big dudes. I think the biggest guy out of all of these is probably Tank Booker and Fotu, right? And Fotu, you know what I mean? That's not going to work out for me. So,
yeah, Tank Booker will be a guy to watch on Thursday if he can kind of take over that role, because he is the only other guy with like nose tackle type size. But yeah, the only other guy that like I can think of like Pete's history would be like Poona Ford. When he was up in Seattle, and his best years was last year in LA. So when he was playing like a true nose tackle spot.
Yeah, and you know, if Jaw Joyner can, you know, show some growth, maybe he can come up here behind like Charles Snowden.
I was gonna say, I'm still holding up for my guy Jaw Joyner.
I heard he's having a good camp. Jaw Joyner is. Yeah, it is. I'm excited about that because I heard he's why we haven't heard about Charles Grant is because of Jaw is out there balling. So shout out Jaw Joyner, he's balling out there.
Good for him, man.
All right, so let's get to linebackers. You know what I mean? I guess Fusion's saying we're being negative because we're realistic. I guess we're supposed to say Jermaine Pratt is the best linebacker in football, and I think
Jamal Adams seamless transition despite multiple transition.
I think Jamal Adams is going to take this team to the next level. It's going to be 2020 Jamal Adams. He's going to have 9 sacks. I guess that's what he wants to do. That's just not what we do here. So, but welcome.
Him and Jalen Smith, they're going to have the healthiest knees on the team.
They're back. Jalen Smith is back, and I think that he is going to be a superstar. Yeah, you know what I mean.
That is the other one at linebacker. Jalen ahead of Gaynor and Lindenberger. I haven't heard much. I don't know. Have you heard anything about Jalen?
No.
But listed on as a 2 on the depth chart, had a couple of young guys who I thought might be threatening.
Yeah. So I mean, not nothing crazy. The first 3 guys are Jermaine Pratt, Glennon Roberts, Devin White. Not really shocking, right?
Yeah.
Eichenberg is, around here. He's creeping.
He's getting some love too. Yeah, he's another guy to keep an eye on for Thursday. He's getting some love. Another one of my guys that I like coming out of the draft the last couple of years.
Yeah, Eichenberg, Lindenberg. I think some of these guys back here like Gaynor. We're gonna see how they play. But I know Eichenberg. He's kind of in the mix to be a player for them. You know what I mean? So I really like his growth, right? Because just seeing him up here, that means he's gonna be playing a lot of preseason play early on. It's gonna work here. So I like that growth from him. That's important. But the linebacker group it's not the sexiest in the world, and it's all about like a Devin White. These 2 guys don't worry me. I know what they are, right? So they don't worry me that much because I know what they are, right? I know they're solid players, right? They're not bad players. They're just solid players.
You're talking about Pratt and Roberts?
Yeah, Pratt and Roberts.
Yeah.
Devin White is like, we're hoping. It's hope.
To be optimistic for my guy Fusion over there, you kind of hope that Devin White can be kind of what like Bruce Irvin was in Seattle. You know what I mean? Like that off-ball linebacker who can rush the passer a little bit. I don't think he'll be like quite the every down player that Irvin was in Seattle, but that's kind of the archetype, if you will.
Yeah, but it's just a little worried because that's not the role he's playing in camp. I mean, in camp, it is him and Roberts, and then Pratt is in with the 3rd team, and then Eichenberg's going in and out with Pratt. So
and Jamal's been rotating with the 1st team too, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's just a group that's like, okay, it could be good, and it's a group like
could be bad.
Yeah, exactly. Jamal Adams is a blitzer. I think he should have his own position right here. It says blitz, and this is Jamal Adams.
What is that? I know like some college teams they call like the rush linebacker.
It's just say blitzer right here. Blitz, Jamal Adams. Because it was funny. Vinny tweeted out today like how he was just blitzing like crazy. They were sitting him off everywhere. I was like, yeah, that's why he's here for. He's not here to play linebacker. He's here to blitz.
Yeah.
That's why I should say blitzer right here.
He called him like a heat-seeking missile or something like that, right? Which is a fair description of Jamal Adams. The dude does play 100 miles an hour, so
Yeah, it's like a new position called the HS, the heat seeker, the BZ, the blitzer. I don't know. That's what he is, man. I mean, that's what he's here for. I mean, he literally is here to blitz. Like you cannot tell me any different. And then seeing Vinny tweeted out that he's there just sending him all day. Yeah, that's his job. So we'll see. All right, so it's cornerback. Darnay Holmes and Greedy Vance are in the battle for the slot position. We hope Greedy Vance that. Darian Porter, Eric Stokes. Looks like it's going to be the starters for now. Of course, Jakorian Bennett still on here before the trade.
Yep.
So that, JT Woods moves up probably, right? Which,
yeah.
Did JT Woods play corner? I thought he's safety. See, let's talk about this.
Yeah, I think it was one of those situations. Did he play some corner with the Chargers? The problem is he's been hurt so much in his career that like he hasn't really had much like snaps. Yeah, he's played 91 snaps. Yeah, he was primarily a safety with the Chargers. Now he was a safety at Baylor too, if I remember correctly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like he might have been able to play some nickel, but yeah, I guess they're gonna try and make him a corner. He's Pete Carroll's size for a corner, and he ran like a 4.2 something.
I know.
So, I mean, we're talking about it with Jakorian Bennett. He at least JT Woods crosses the size threshold. So maybe it's an experiment they're trying, and maybe he's like a guy that they might try and be like use one of those veteran spots. I don't know if he'd qualify for that or not on the practice squad, and see if they can kind of make him into that, something like that. But it'd be interesting.
Yeah. What else we got here? We got Eric Stokes, of course, Richardson, Sam Webb. I mean, I guess Caillou Blue Kelly's, but I don't know if he's a slot though. I think he's probably just in the battle here. This guy
Caillou?
Yeah. He's
Caillou's a slot.
He
is?
Is?
Nickel. Yeah,
okay.
He's nickel. He hasn't played much, but he's when he's played nickel in his career. I want to say he was a nickel at Stanford. I can't remember.
Yeah. So I'm trying to these questions here. All right. So yeah, I mean, corner's pretty basic, man. I feel like that's not going to be too much of a battle. But I did see JB here. I agree with him. If one starting quarter goes out, we might be kind of cut.
We're holding that hope on Jakorian Richardson and Darian Porter emerging.
Yeah,
holding that
hope. You know what I
and
mean.
preseason hero in what's my guy? Jim Vivian's favorite player, Sam Webb. Maybe this is the year he'll finally put it together.
Oh yeah. Jim is a Sam Webb truther. Yeah, he has
big. I think he was the guy. Like, I didn't even know he was on the roster until Jim started tweeting me about him. that was like 4 years ago.
Sam Webb truther is Jim. Jim is the Sam Webb truther. All right, safety. Not shocking, but Chris Smith, man.
Yeah, because this came out after the Lonnie Johnson injury, right?
Yeah.
He's fourth on the depth chart.
Yeah. But even when he got hurt, that's what they talked about in practice. It was him that came in.
Chris Smith is the weirdest. Like, is one of the weirder draft profiles like to come out, because you watch his Georgia tape and it is very clean. Like he played really well, and then you saw him run at the combine and he had a terrible workout. And like he ran I think it was like a 4.62 40, and just his draft shot just tanked. But the one thing I'll say about him is, at least at Georgia, he had really good instincts to kind of make up for that lack of speed. Like, because the 40 time was shocking, and I think that's why it caught a lot of people by surprise. Because safety is a weird position. Like, your speed does matter, right? Like, you can't get beat over the top. But at the same time, like, if you have really good instincts, you can make up for it. Like, you can look at a guy because there's a guy that I really like coming out of TCU. He tore his ACL in OTA, so we won't play playing this year. But our Darius Washington, he was kind of the same way. Like going into the season, like going into the draft, he was getting some buzz as like a potential free safety, and then he's tiny and ran like a 4.6 or something like that, and ended up going undrafted. But if you go back and watch like some of the Ravens tape last year, like he was making plays out there, and he was going into a year where like this was going to be like his type of season, and then obviously it got thrown for a loop. And I feel like you can put Chris Smith on a similar like archetype. Taylor Rapp was kind of the same way too, like at the beginning of his career, although he hasn't come on like he had like we had hoped, or you had hoped coming out of Washington. But similar type of thing where like just a safety with good instincts that looked faster and played faster on film, had better play speed than he did like a track time.
Yeah, because I think the battle for the final roster spot with these safeties, I don't know if they keep. I mean, because you have to understand that they keep Jamal Adams, right? He's technically he's a linebacker, but he's technically a safety. You know what I mean? He's linebacker. But what? So if they're probably going to keep him, right? So that's what it makes it really hard for Trey Tucker. I mean, and then Thomas Harper, we thought he was going to have a better chance, but playing slot or something. But I mean, he's right there too. But we're going to see these guys play a lot. Chris Smith, Thomas Harper, Trey Taylor. We're going to see them play a lot. On Thursday for sure. Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of the defense. And somebody wants to talk about the line snap. Is there a long snapper battle?
I think there's only one on the roster. I think you're getting trolled.
He paid, man. He paid, so that's cool. He did donate to the channel.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. We'll definitely talk about the long snapper battle there.
I used to long snap, so we can talk about it a little bit.
Okay, all right. You're a long snapper. Hey, man, those guys get scholarships. Don't get it twisted.
I thought that was going to be my meal ticket, but I was wrong on that too.
Oh yeah, you're good. You know what I mean? They want us to get Fusion off the chat. They want us to,
Oh yeah, causing a ruckus, Fusion.
Come on, man. You're getting cocky. Let's just not get too cocky there. Because he's talking about how they're gonna be up 28-0. You guys haven't scored 28 points. When was the last time you guys did that?
What's that?
When's the last time Chiefs scored 28 points?
Oh, as a Chiefs fan?
Yeah. When's the last time? I mean, you guys are a defensive team, man. You guys are gonna win 20-17, as you always do. So let's keep it real here. All right. Any word on Trey Taylor? I got a couple of Trey Taylor questions. He got a pick earlier, but like, I don't know.
I feel like it's been pretty quiet from him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quiet. He was, like you said, he was a guy that like when Jim Thorpe winner in college and like had some like good tape, but on the opposite end is Chris Smith. I feel a little bit more confident in Chris Smith because he did it in the SEC versus the Mountain West. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard much about him.
Now they went a long snapper review, man. They went a long snapper breakdown for the. Well, you got to post up a special team.
Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to, because here's how you do a long snapper review. Did it hit the punter in the chest or in the hip pocket? And what was the time? That's about it. That's my long snapper scouting.
Oh yeah, that'd be hilarious. Is Dylan Lobby behind Chris Collier as a? That's what it looks like, JP. That's what it looks like.
I think that's. I mean, that was true at the end of last season. I'm still hopeful in Lobby because I don't know. I like the guy's game and I like rooting for the FCS guys to try and make it, but he's another guy that we haven't heard much from, and last season was literally terrible for him. Yeah,
man. Remember Gus Bradley, Pete Carroll's student coaching our defense? Yeah, I remember. I mean, if you guys would be honest, that was the best defense we had. Like, besides the Antonio Pierce small run. I mean, they're like the only defenses like top 20 in DVOA. I mean,
they're 14th in points allowed that in 2021.
Yeah.
Didn't Graham? Weren't they like 12th, something like that? Like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, they're pretty good a couple of years ago. But like, all right, so let's get some. I'm just trying to get these questions here. Any idea how much Cam Miller will play? I bet he'll probably play for like. Geno Smith probably play a series, and Aiden O'Connell will probably play into the second quarter, and then Cam Miller finishes the game.
So he'll get like the whole second half. I can see that.
Yeah. So we're gonna get a Cam Miller breakdown for sure.
Yeah,
for sure, guys.
Are they going to do the thing with Aiden O'Connell where they throw him in like mid-series to like practice like coming into the game if Geno gets hurt? What I really want to see, Pete, if we're really talking about competing and getting game ready, I want to see Geno fake an injury, but not tell Aiden O'Connell at that. So he's got to do the warm-up throws and get it everything and get the real practice reps like that.
Okay, all right.
That's what I'm calling for.
Yeah, real scrimmage right there.
Yeah,
real mock game. Was Kyrie Blue good in the slot in college?
Yeah, he was pretty good. He was good at Stanford. He didn't get a lot of pub because Stanford's been kind of going in the toilets. The transfer portal has killed Stanford's program, like literally. But yeah, he was pretty good in college. Good player for Stanford.
Okay. Another question here. When is Trey Taylor Air Force Hero going to make a splash? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Hopefully Thursday.
Yeah, hopefully. Right? I mean, because to be honest, that's what I'm saying. Like, if there's one guy who is going to take the preseason game seriously, it's Pete Carroll. Right? I know, as I said, a lot of coaches don't do that. They just kind of already have this set. Like, either they already know he's going to make the team already, right?
Yeah,
a guy could go out there and have 3 150-yard games as a running back and get cut because that's a lot of teams' work.
It's the Chris Warren.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Remember that guy from a couple of years ago, or it was more than a couple of years ago. It's 7 years ago now.
Chris Warren, bro. I mean, yeah, he was. Remember Chris Warren? But yeah, if anybody could do it, it's gonna be Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll will make that happen for sure.
Yeah, I mean, put it in perspective. Mike McDaniel came out and said today he's not playing the starters. And Pete Carroll's like, everybody's ready. Everybody's ready to go.
Yeah. All right. Is there any free agent cornerbacks that fits the mold? I went and looked here.
Douglas.
Right? Oh, yeah. Douglas.
Douglas.
I mean, is Stephon Gilmore fit?
Yeah. He's just like he's got to be close to 40 now, isn't he? I mean, I'm probably exaggerating, but he's at least mid-30s, right?
Yeah.
Last year wasn't great with Minnesota. He was all right 2 years ago. Like last offseason, I kind of wanted the Raiders to sign him just because, like, all right, he put some good tape out there with was he with the Cowboys 2 years ago, or whatever he was 2 years ago, and then the wheels started to fall off the wagon last year in Minnesota.
Trayvon Mullen.
Is he still around?
Yeah. I don't know if he's still in the league.
That's what I meant. Like, is he like Trayvon Mullen? Where is he last played? He feels like a guy that would just pop up in the XFL like Damon Arnett. Damon Arnett.
He's on Houston now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Mullen doesn't have the arm length. He's 31 inches. 31.
Damn.
So it probably would be Douglas, right? Douglas.
Yeah.
Which
Douglas, like, he got cut from the Bills, right? He's got with the Bills. He got cut from the Bills because they wanted to pay Christian Benford and they were running out of cap space. So it wasn't like he was terrible last year.
Yeah.
So if you do want to get somebody that can come in and play right away, that's not a bad option.
I mean, Corey Ballantyne, because he's coming from the Colts, so he has to have long arms. So I'm like, that could be an option.
Corey Ballantyne, that's the guy from the Packers, right? I think he just re-signed with the Packers.
No. This guy played for the Colts. I'm looking at this guy right here. I don't know. Corey Ballantyne, 29 years old, year 6.
What's the first name?
Corey Ballantyne. Corey is a Corey.
Ballantyne?
Yeah. That's the type of guy because he played with Gus Bradley.
Yeah, we're thinking of the same guy. He just re-signed with the August 4th. I'm looking at his Wikipedia. August 4th, 2005. So yesterday he signed with the Packers.
Okay.
Yeah, he was on the Packers and then went to the Colts in the offseason.
Because I dropped the fucking drink on the roof. Chill out, brother. All right. I mean, he's on the free agent list, man. He's there. He's 27. All right. Which fan favorite needs to make plays in the preseason to make the team?
Jamal Adams? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, it seems like pull up that up. I mean, Trey Taylor.
Yeah.
This one.
Oh, so he's a fan favorite. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Like, who's a fan favorite though?
Amari Gaynor.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, Amari Gaynor. That's people like Amari Gaynor.
He might fall into the preseason superhero category.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of somebody else though. Maybe somebody like on offense. I don't know. Dalton Wagner is a guy I know a lot of people like with Dalton Wagner.
No, yeah. I mean,
so is it Jakorian Bennett?
He could afford to make some plays. I mean, I feel like Tommy Mellott would probably make the team, but at the same time, like, he was a 6th-round pick, and I haven't heard much about him like in training camp. So maybe he needs to prove something a little bit, and he's obviously learning a new position. But I feel like most draft picks are going to make the team like your first year.
Would they bring in a free agent at this point? Yeah, I think so. I mean, because he said he wants to win 10 games. Yeah, they want to win, bro. So they're going to bring in a free agent.
they had a few workouts today, and one of those guys, the biggest name was like Terrell Edmonds. Who remember was a safety for the Steelers for like 6 years. Tremaine Edmonds' brother. So
Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Any questions here, guys? Is Carroll gonna rub the score of the Seahawks? Maybe.
He wants to win this game. He can play it coy. I don't even know if he will, but I think he wants to win this game. One, just because of the type of person he is, and two, there's a little salt there. I don't think he didn't want to get fired. He made it very clear he still wanted to coach.
Yeah. What percentage split do you think will be between Graham and Carroll regarding the influence on the defense? That's a good question.
Good question. Tough to say. It's funny. I saw Ted and Wynn pointing about this, and we've talked about it a bunch. Ted just has a broader audience, so I think to let the message get heard a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Like Carroll's known for being the cover 3 guy, right? That's the Gus Bradley, the Ken Norton Jr. when he was coaching the deco for the Raiders. All the guys under his coaching tree that have kind of like gone into, like, that's what they became known for with the Legion of Boom. But teams' defenses started figuring that out, and when you don't have a couple of like Pro Bowl corners and Richard Sherman and Brandon Browner, and then Earl Thomas in the back end and Cam Chancellor and roaming at strong safety. Like, it is so simple that defenses can figure it out pretty well. Like, you have to have pretty good personnel. And then so he started to shift to the Vic Fangio type of system, bringing in guys like Clint Hurt, Sean Desai with someone else who had worked for Fangio and ended up going to the Eagles to be their deco for a year. Now the Eagles have Fangio now. So I think it's interesting to see what Carroll is going to do, because he kind of has deferred to like his defensive coordinator and bringing someone else in to actually like call the plays and install the system. But then again, we've also heard a lot from Patrick Graham where he's talking about how Pete Carroll's influencing him. So I don't know if I have a great answer for you, and it would be tough to tell, because like, which Pete Carroll are they really going to get? Is Pete Carroll going to go back to his roots? Because here's the thing, the Fangio system didn't exactly work. I got him fired. Like, that was part of the problem in Seattle. Their defenses weren't like what they were.
Yeah.
And then, so it's like, he go back to his roots and go back to that cover 3 heavy stuff, or does he kind of lean on Graham and let Graham do what Graham likes to do, which is a lot of multiple coverages and a lot of mixing things up. So, or does he go to the full Fangio pattern matching concepts with a lot of cover 4 concepts?
So I think what I think is going to happen with this, I think they kind of have the same philosophy on defense, and Patrick Graham has played a lot more cover 3 the last couple of years. And I think they have the kind of same philosophy in the secondary, but in the defensive line, that's all Patrick Graham. That's what I think we're going to see. Patrick Graham put his stamp and influence on the defense. Is going to be the defensive line. With all the stunts they do, that's where he's going to really have a chance to eat there. I think that's where we're going to see it. But I think coverage-wise, they're kind of similar, which is bend but don't break, right? And they were just breaking a lot once he kind of got away from that. Because Fangio is not really bend but don't break, right?
Yeah.
Fangio, I'm confusing you.
Yeah.
Right. But like Patrick Graham, well, he does confuse people. I think his philosophy is still bend but don't break. And it's been like that in New York. And I think, that's a Patriots thing too. He comes from there, and that's a Pete Carroll thing too. So that's why I think it's going to be that together.
I want to give a shout out to Robbie Leonard too, the D-line coach. He's been instrumental in that development too. I mean, he's gotten a lot out of guys. Again, a guy like Clavon Chason had a career year and worked for 14, 15 weeks with Robbie Leonard too. So
yeah,
D-line is in good hands.
Well, Lakey Tossie play? I'm pretty sure, right? Right?
I don't know when was it David Agoa? I think that was his name. When he was on the IPP signing. Yeah, he didn't really play. He didn't really even play much in the preseason. He got in at like the end of the games. Maybe it's a little bit different with Tossie and being an offensive lineman, but yeah, I don't know how much we'll see. I hope he does. That'd be kind of cool to see what that dude can do on the football field, because his rugby highlights are awesome.
Yeah, for sure. How much did JPJ play? I mean, it probably just, I don't know. Well, that's going to tell us a lot too.
Yeah. What if Kappa doesn't play at all and JPJ plays like into the whole first half, like into the second half? That'd be tough.
Yeah, very, very, very. Is Patrick Graham to call plays on defense? I believe so, right? Yeah, he's going to call the plays.
Yeah, he's calling it. Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're gonna wrap this show up. Like I said, we're getting some film, guys. We'll be back with reaction on Thursday after the preseason game. We'll talk about the game with the instant reaction, and we'll get some film, guys. We're gonna get some film. I'm excited. We're gonna have some film to break down, guys. And I'm probably gonna do Cam Miller. He's gonna get a whole thing. We're probably gonna get some. I'll definitely do that for members. I'm gonna start wrapping up the member stuff here, guys. We got the preseason film. We're gonna start busting these out. And I'm excited about that, guys. So I appreciate you guys coming in. Almost got 700 in here, about 675. So appreciate you guys coming in and enjoying the show. And hopefully the Raiders will win this year, so you guys don't go away like you did after October. So
I think that was in October. That brother, that was like the end of September. We might have made it to week 6 last year before that those views took a dip.
Yeah. Seriously. All right, guys, we're out of here. Peace.